In late 2025, southern Africa got hit with major flooding, mostly because of La Niña. Homes, roads, and healthcare facilities were wiped out, affecting more than 1.3 million people. Countries like Mozambique, South Africa, and Malawi haven't seen a rainy season this intense for a long time. But now, as La Niña fades, it could open the door to a new weather pattern that brings harsher droughts, heavier flooding, and record-breaking heat. Oh, great. But before we dive into that, let's recap what La Niña is. Basically, it's a climate pattern that happens when surface waters in the central and eastern Pacific Ocean turn cooler than normal. That shift happens every 3 to 5 years, but it doesn't have a fixed schedule. When it does show up, it can reshape weather patterns around the world for months. During La Niña, some places, like parts of Southeast Asia and Australia, get much more rain than usual, which can lead to serious flooding. In the United States, La Niña typically happens in the fall and lasts through winter and early spring. It often brings drier weather to the southern U.S., increases the chance of Atlantic hurricanes, and can even cause colder winters. Take California, for example. During La Niña winters, it usually gets less rain, especially in the southern part of the state. Things can get very dry, and this can lead to a drought in the summer. But in the late 2025 season, things didn't go the usual way. Storms came in from the Pacific Ocean and dumped a ton of rain on California. I'm talking record downpours. The rain damaged crops, and it also hit roads and bridges that farmers rely on to get food to market. Experts say irrigation systems may have been damaged or washed out, and fixing them takes time and money. So this time, La Niña is bringing a lot more rain than snow across the West. To give you an idea, snow cover in the region in January 2026 was at its lowest level since 2001. And that's a huge problem because California really depends on snowpack. It's basically the state's natural water storage. Because as the snow slowly melts, it helps supply water for farms, cities, and hydroelectric power. With less snow, California could end up with tighter water supplies right as wildfire risk starts ramping up in spring and summer. This isn't the first time the US has seen a weird winter like this, though. Back in early 2023, the world was dealing with La Niña for the third year in a row. And that meant California got slammed by powerful storms, causing about $5 billion in damage. So, could La Niña be changing over time? Yeah, maybe. And lots of experts think warmer ocean water is a big reason why, at least when it comes to California. As the ocean heats up, it can help build high-pressure zones over the North Pacific. That can shove the jet stream around, changing where storms go, and in some cases, steering more rain toward California. In other words, La Niña's usual effects may be getting overshadowed by stronger and more frequent marine heat waves in the North Pacific. Looking ahead, if La Niña really starts bringing more rain than snow over the years, that could be a real problem. Snowpack acts like a natural storage system. Rain doesn't. A lot of that water could rush out to the ocean, especially if reservoirs have to release water to prevent flooding during big storms. And that would hit farmers hard, since they rely on stored water to irrigate, especially because California's dry season can drag on into October. But there are signs around the world that La Niña may be winding down. For starters, the water at the ocean surface is getting warmer, and in parts of the Pacific, the trade winds have been a little stronger than usual. At the same time, there have been fewer clouds than usual near the international dateline. Put together, these clues suggest La Niña is losing strength. So, what happens next? It's hard to say for sure, but scientists have a pretty good idea, because La Niña isn't alone in this world. It's just one phase of a bigger natural cycle called the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO for short. So this cycle has 3 phases. La Niña is the cool phase, El Niño is the warm phase, and in the middle, there's a neutral phase, what we know as ENSO neutral. Right now, scientists say there's about a 50 to 60% chance we'll shift from La Niña to ENSO neutral by April 2026. And once that happens, there's also a decent chance things could swing toward El Niño after that. So, if El Niño really is on the way, should we be worried? What does all of this actually mean? Here's the bottom line. El Niño tends to increase global temperatures by 0.36 degrees Fahrenheit. That might not sound like much, but it can help fuel extreme weather, like droughts in some places and floods in others. But this time, and in the years ahead, the impacts could be even more intense. Because, as you know, the planet is already warming. Even though 2025 began and ended under a cooling La Niña, it's still ranked as one of the warmest years ever recorded worldwide. High temperatures on land and in the ocean helped fuel extreme weather, from heat waves to heavy rainfall to powerful tropical cyclones. In fact, the past 11 years have been the 11 warmest on record. Now add an El Niño on top of that, and the temperatures could climb even higher. It's possible that we're heading toward record-breaking warmth, the kind that makes stepping outside feel like opening an oven. And it might not stop at 2026. 2027 could be just as bad. Beyond the scorching heat, El Niño can shake up weather patterns around the world. In the southern US and parts of southern Europe, it often brings heavier rainfall and sometimes flooding. Meanwhile, the northern US and Canada tend to be drier than usual. In the Atlantic, El Niño actually weakens hurricane seasons. But in the central and eastern Pacific, it can ramp up hurricane activity. So yeah, it's a wild ride. Now, you might be wondering when all of this will happen. The truth is, it's hard to say, and that's because it's becoming more difficult to predict when an El Niño will form, and just how strong or dangerous it might be. In the past, scientists tracked El Niño using something called Oceanic Niño Index. Basically, they compared ocean temperatures in one specific part of the tropical Pacific to the average temperatures there over the previous 30 years. The bigger the difference, the stronger the El Niño. But that method only looked at one slice of the Pacific, known as the Niño 3.4 region. It didn't account for what was happening across the rest of the tropics. Then the planet started heating up in general, and that started to complicate things. Average temperatures around the world kept rising, throwing a wrench into the system. The entire tropical Pacific is warming so fast that it can blur the signal of an El Niño. When the ocean is warmer almost everywhere, it becomes much harder to spot what's truly unusual. So, scientists have come up with a new way to measure El Niño and La Niña. It's called RONI, the Relative Oceanic Niño Index. The idea is actually pretty simple. They take the temperature differences in the key El Niño region and subtract the temperature differences from the rest of the tropical Pacific. In other words, they're trying to filter out the overall warming trend so they can see El Niño signals more clearly. Scientists are still curious though. This time, they want to see El Niño actually take shape before they start making specific weather forecasts. Either way, we should probably buckle up. Changes are already brewing in the eastern Pacific, and pretty soon, we could be feeling the effects around the world.